So I am Busisipho Siyobi, the lead researcher in the Natural Resource Governance Program at Good Governance Africa. At GGA, we are committed to improving the citizens' lives through improved governance performance. And as part of that mission, we launched a campaign called Reversing the Resource Curse, where we have unpacked how natural resource wealth is correlated with underdevelopment instead of growth and sustainability, as well as broad-based development. But more so, we have assessed that transparency is one of the key governance ingredients for solving it, and have further emphasized the importance of responsible mining, where mining companies ought to consider environmental and social governance as the core business performance indicators. This, of course, also entails the recognition of community rights and allowing communities to grant mining companies the social license to operate. This term, social license, refers to an informal social contract between the mining company and the communities surrounding its operations. However, in reality, community rights and the social license to operate have not taken priority in granting of mining rights. Today, I am joined by Nonhle Mbuthuma, who is the co-founder of the Amadiba Crisis Committee of the Xolobeni village, which is situated in the Wild Coast in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. The Xolobeni community have been resisting plans to mine world-class titanium deposits bearing minerals for almost 15 years now. But without any further ado, Nonhle, a very warm welcome to you, and thank you very much for joining us. Please may you give us a bit of background on who you are, the Xolobeni community, the proposed mining by this Australian mining company, but most importantly, the establishment of the Amadiba Crisis Committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your interview as GGA. My name is Nonhle Mbuthuma. I'm the co-founder of Amadiba Crisis Committee. Amadiba Crisis Committee was formed in 2007, but the actually ground of the mining company is not arrived in 2007. It just arrived before that, like in early 1996. And the reason it takes too long for us to form Amadiba Crisis Committee, it was because the area where they want to mine is in a communal land. We are not thinking of there was no need of a committee because we're sharing everything, but we just decided that no, it's better to form Amadiba Crisis Committee in order to face the mining company, because here we are under the traditional leadership, which is the chiefs. Now, because most of the time the land issue it's always been attended by the chiefs, but we know that chiefs or traditional leaders are the local governance. That's how they're governing the communal people. Now, if you're going to put the traditional leader on the forefront of fighting the mining, it will be difficult, it will be biased because the chief needs to treat everybody equally. It doesn't matter you want the mining or you don't want the mining. That is why we decided to form Amadiba Crisis Committee, where we're going to isolate a structure away from traditional leaders, because traditional leader itself, the entire community, not just those that are in favor or those are not in favor. That is why today we have this structure called the Amadiba Crisis Committee, and it represented a 22-kilometer stretch along the coast where I'm sitting right now, which is 5 villages that they propose to mine. And all these 5 villages with 2 people that are represented in our committee. And the purpose was to make sure that the message is sent being across, because this is a rural community. It's a very rural, the area where we are. But if you don't have a structure, it's very difficult to know what is happening in another village. That is why we form a Amadiba Crisis Committee.
Thank you very much for that background, Sis Nonhle. Now, over the years, you've done well in using public interest litigation under the South Africa's constitution to push forward this cause, which has been to get recognition for the community's vision and rights in relation to mining, sustainability, development, as well as land. Now, in the recent court case, where the Australian mining company claimed damages against 3 South African environmental attorneys, as well as 3 community activists for defamation after they had voiced their criticism and concerns against the proposed mining. Please, can you share a bit about that legal victory to us, please?
This struggle of Xolobeni, it's always a rough struggle, because there was a lot of fight, lot of exchange of words. And I understand the Australian company, when they come to South Africa, they were just thinking that they were intimidating us, they were forget that we are in a democratic country where we have a freedom of speech, where we allowed, which is what I'm very proud of being a South African, that we've allowed to voice out our concerns. But for them, they were thinking they're going to use that where people, they were speaking about how they're treating the people. They said that they are speaking badly and damaging their dignity, But this is South Africa. South Africa, if you are here to do a development, this country is a democratic country. When you do development, you must expect that people are going to put their own concerns. How did they feel? Because these lawyers and the activists, their argue was when our late chairperson was being assassinated, Bazuka Radebe, because we know that Bazuka Radebe was being assassinated because of the activities of the mining. Now, in terms of the mining company, the Australian company, they were felt that they were insulted to say that, but here we never have any problem of assassination, of fighting, There's so many cases beside that, this one, where they were putting our people to court to make sure that we are intimidated. And we just make sure that on this one, we'll follow to make sure that if in Australia, the Australians, they don't have a freedom of speech, but in South Africa, we do have a freedom of speech, which has been recognized by the South African Constitution. That is why we said that even if they take this matter to court, but we'll use our laws that are good to protect the South African citizens. And it was a big victory, not only for the people of Xolobeni, also for the other communities where they're going to have a voice of what is happening to their own area, because we just find out mining companies are so bullied when it comes to our communities. Now we cannot question what are they doing.
Thank you very much for that. And your safety after that legal victory, how are things now in Xolobeni as we speak?
At the moment, we can say everything is back to normal, and we hope it will be normal, because we don't see more of activities of the mining company coming beside the government. Government is working hard to make sure that they are using our tax money to convince us that the mining is good for us, although that we explain to them clear that loud and clear that mining is not alternative, it's not only development that we want here. And we stated clear that we are not anti-development, but we are for development, but mining is not the type of development that we want to see take place here. We do have agriculture here. We do have ecotourism here. Those are the things, and we have reason why we chose those two, because those two are sustainable. They will sustain ourselves, because we know that once you allow the mining is a short term. It doesn't matter it employs so many people, but the damage that is going to leave behind is too much and it's irreversible. That is why we said we are not looking for benefits from mining, and we're hoping that the Australian company, they're going to listen when we said, because we told them they do public participation properly. And then we told them that we are not interested in this type of development. If they want to develop us, they must develop the ecotourism that we have here, and they must develop agriculture that we have here, not to put a new development that is going to destroy the existing development that we have.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nonhle. And I think it is very important to make it clear that Xolobeni is not against development, like how you're saying, and it is in fact for development. I just want you to give us a bit of a deep dive then. What have you proposed as alternatives to the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, and how far are you with those proposals?
Our proposed are not per se to go to a Department of Minerals and Energy, because their role is to deal with energy, which is minerals. Now, if we put, as I said, that our alternative here is ecotourism and agriculture. Now, we've already write letters to Department of Environmental Affairs to say that these are our proposed. That's what we want to be supported, and we haven't received any reply from that. But instead, we see that Department of Minerals and Energy, what they are doing, they are trying to dilute this request from the community to say that they are coming to hear what the community want. But we know that if we want tourism, we know which department. We cannot go and ask a tourism to Department of Minerals and Energy, and we cannot go to ask agriculture to Department of Minerals and Energy. We know which departments. That is why the former Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mr. Senzeni Zogwana, he was here where I'm sitting right now to listen to the people according what we've written to them, to say that these are the things, because here we have oceans, we have a fertile land, we have a good, better, the best biodiversity, that it can attract the tourists globally. Those are our things that we put clear to them. But it's only one minister that was already visiting us. It was the former Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, but from Department of Environment, we haven't seen them coming. But what is happening, DMR Minister is pushing to say that they want to take those views. But where they're going to do it, they cannot be a jack of all trades. When it comes to tourism, they are not a tourism department. That's our argument with the Minister of Minerals and Energy right now, to say that you cannot come to say that you want to hear the views of the people, if how the tourism can work. There is a separate department.
Thank you very much, Sis Nonhle. I'm going to hold it over there. I just want to again thank you for your time and your contribution to this Reversing the Resource Curse, and also highlighting to us the importance of recognizing community rights, but most importantly, the social license to operate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.